This is Multiplaying episode 13, October 30th, 2009.
Everybody online, looking good.
A companion podcast to the collaborative blog and gaming community that's playing as life allows. This is Multiplaying.
Well, let's start the insanity.
We have clearance, Clarence. Roger. What's our vector, Victor?
Hello?
Great heavens! What kind of radio show is this?
Hey there, and welcome to Multiplaying. On the show today we have Brian.
Hey.
And Devin.
Hi.
And Jason.
Hello.
I'm Shannon, and there's Steve.
Hi.
And
hey,
what
gotta
are
get
we...
yourself in there before you get me.
Yeah, well, you know.
Tail up before nothing.
Pretty much.
Age before beauty. So.
I understand.
And what are we playing? Drinking. Well, we're all kind of drinking the same thing. One of our listeners posted on the comments to the last show that they found a drink called the Zelly. So we all decided to try that for the show today. And it has 1.5 ounce of bourbon, a half ounce of lime juice, and then you use a lowball glass and fill it with ice and then pour Sprite Zero over top of it. And it's called a Zelly. What do you guys think of it?
It's awesome. I say it's delish.
It's going down good.
Yeah, I've never...
Oh my god!
Zelly goes down good.
Okay, so Brian, what have you been playing?
I've been playing Torchlight. Torchlight was released this week, so I've been playing tons of that, and a little bit of Ion, though not as much, just because Torchlight has got my attention. Yeah, I've been playing that. I haven't had a lot of time to play this week, so what time I have had, I've been playing Torchlight.
What do you think
of it? And it's awesome. Oh, I'm loving it. It's exactly what I expected. It's a pure action RPG. They haven't done anything crazy with it. It plays so smoothly. The graphics are killer. I love the art direction. It's just got this great sort of pacing to it that just keeps you going, and it's totally as addictive as you might expect. So yeah, I'm really enjoying that game. In fact, I've heard a lot of people that I didn't even know were into this type of game messaging me saying, "Hey, by the way, we tried out Torchlight." So word's getting around fast. I've noticed that they've been popping up on a lot of podcasts. The guys from Runic Games, there's getting a lot of media buzz, and I think it's going to succeed far beyond their expectations.
I heard that they're going to be on another podcast shortly.
Oh, really? Which one would that be?
I heard they were going to be on Multiplaying, like, soon.
Yeah, like next week.
Like next week soon, yeah.
We talked with Wonder. We talked with Wonder, and she said she might get Travis and one of the Schaefer brothers in to have a chat with us next week. So I'm really looking forward to that. So if anybody has any questions, email us with questions. We'd love to be able to pass those along, because Lord knows I won't be able to think up enough myself. So, anybody else who has questions, please mail them.
What was your inspiration for this game?
Yeah, exactly. Yep. Yeah, that's
Have you ever heard of Diablo?
I heard it's like, I've been reading a couple of blogs, and a lot of people are saying it's a lot like Fate.
Yeah, Travis Baldry, the guy who is the lead designer on this, was lead designer on Fate. So absolutely, that's totally to be expected. And on a couple of the podcasts and some of the interviews I've read, he makes no bones about it. He said, I came up with Fate, and sure enough, I'm going to use some of that in this game. So that's the great thing about this, is that it's like they got all of the members of the Beatles back together to make an album, and they didn't screw with the recipe. They just went and made a Beatles album. Didn't fuck around with it, which is awesome, because I think it was a smart move on their part. They set their sights at a decent level. They didn't try to make anything too big out of it, didn't try to screw with the formula. And, the $20 price point, the fact that they decided not to put in multiplayer right off the bat, which that alone, if you were to add multiplayer, would probably add an extra, I'm not a developer, but I would say at least 6 months of development to a year, just because it opens it up to all kinds of things like balancing and, making sure the network code can't be hacked, and hacking.
Blizzard's still dicking around with Diablo 2 multiplayer.
Yeah, they still patch that.
Yeah, so they just, let's take that right off the table and just nail this. And 11 months later, they have a game. And they were smart. They used Ogre, which is an engine that's an open source engine, so they didn't even have to pay anything for that. And apparently it's a pretty awesome engine that allows them to do a lot of great things with it. And then they build
it looks great.
Yeah, I'm really happy with the way it looks. A lot of people sort of are comparing it to, I guess, WoW, I heard the art director, and I wish I could remember his name. He sort of compared it and said that his inspiration was Dragonlance. Is that what it's called? Dragonlance, the old.
Oh yeah. Dragonlance.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. No, not Dragonlance the books. I can't remember what it's called. It was an old arcade game.
Oh god, was it that the cartoon one?
Yeah.
Right, the one guys who made Space Ace, Dragon Slayer.
That's it. Yes. Yeah. And I forget yet another one there, but yeah, it definitely has like some very sort of cartoony influence, but it's really tight and it's kind of focused. And I think if they tried to do anything too photorealistic, then again they would have had to push out development. So they picked a really solid style and nailed it.
That style ages better than other games too.
Yeah, it really does. Because you get into that uncanny valley sort of thing if you try to get too photorealistic, and if you can't do it well, then it starts kind of looking janky and you can kind of sit too much.
Yeah, janky.
That goes into another issue for the show tonight. Janky is forbidden on the show for the evening. Yes.
What?
We overuse janky so much. You guys have to
we met our janky quota.
Yeah.
I thought it was Pee-wee's Playhouse in here for a second. He said janky, and I went, ah!
No, you can't use janky for the whole show today.
That's janky.
I'll
gotta
mute
come up with a new
you.
word.
You get muted for 5 minutes if you say janky.
I shall return to my Zelly then.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, Brian.
No, not at all.
Did you have any more to add? You were actually doing really well.
No, I was rambling on. You know what? And in the other, I know everybody else has had some time, so I'd like to hear what everybody else thinks of the game.
Devin, what have you been playing lately?
I just got into the 40 plus grind in Ion, so that's been taking up the majority of my gaming time.
I can hear you playing right now. Yeah.
Really? Oops, my bad.
Jason, what have you been playing?
Torchlight, which I agree with pretty much everything Brian said. It's a lot of fun. I'm finding myself whenever I get 20 minutes here and there, pop in and playing that. And the great thing about that game is it's super conductive to those short play sessions. You don't even save it. You exit and you go right back into where you were. You don't have to mess around with getting back out of town into the dungeon. Yeah, that game's awesome. I don't know what else to say about that. He summed it up a lot. It doesn't do anything new. I really love the pet stuff. I love how the pet is meaningful in combat. It does things and you can equip it with items. And I didn't even realize until yesterday, which I only played since Tuesday, but I didn't know you could equip your pet with spells. That's awesome.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's awesome. And I haven't been able to do it yet, but will he cast them on his own or do I have to do that?
It's completely automated. You give him a spell to summon like skeleton archers or a drain life spell or whatever. He'll just do them automatically as he sees fit.
And he has his own mana pool, right?
Yep.
Oh, I should have taught him. Is there any way I can de-teach myself the archer one and give it to him?
I don't know if you can remove a spell or not. I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's a good question. I wonder if you can overwrite it even.
I want to try.
If you overwrite it, I think you just delete the other one though.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna try because casting that myself is too much. I only do it in big, huge battles, and it'd be cool if he could just plop him down whenever. I'm loving that game. I like the look of it. I like the combat's really easy on normal so far, and I started a second character on hard and went through a little bit, and that seems a little bit better. So I kind of wish I have my alchemist up to level 12. I kind of wish I could change the difficulty on the fly, but it's starting to get a little bit more difficult as I go in more.
Yeah, I restarted on very hard and destroyer, and it's much more fun actually on very hard.
Really?
Yeah.
So I started the is the destroyer is that the ranged one?
No, that's the
Vanquisher.
The big burly looking fella.
Oh, okay. I started a Vanquisher on hard, and I got through probably about 30 minutes, and that was more of a challenge, more fun, but I haven't tried very hard. But other than that, I've been playing I played a little bit of Mag Beta, which I don't even know if that has an NDA on it, but
Yeah, go for it.
yeah, I got it from a GameStop pre-order. I don't think they're going to be that.
I don't think they're going to worry about it.
But that game looks like it has a lot of potential. I only played about 45 minutes of it, which that's the huge PS3 only shooter that is up to 256 players by the guys who made the SOCOM games up until the last SOCOM. So it's a lot of directive-based stuff. And the polish on that game already is awesome. It looks great and it runs really smooth, and I didn't run into any bugs so far.
Is it compelling? Is it engaging?
I didn't say any of that.
Is it immersive?
Is it immersive?
Are there any janky bits?
Oh, wait, who was that?
That was jinky, not the other word.
Oh,
Yeah,
no, you are muted, sir.
J-E-N-K.
Is this Scooby Doo? We're saying jinkies.
That was just my Canadian accent and the Zelly talking.
Yeah. So I didn't say any of that shit about it. It's fun. It controls really well and it seems fun. And
You said polish.
I didn't say that either.
Yes, you did.
Or did I?
That's what started the stream.
God damn it. Well, I had a reason there. SOCOM beta for SOCOM Confrontation was complete ass. That game was balls. And this already seems way, way better.
It's less
Better
balls.
than balls. Hey, better than balls. There you go. There's a review.
No, I wouldn't say that. It seems really good. But that game all hinges on who you're playing with when you're playing with that many
Definitely.
people.
Oh, yeah.
But the maps are huge, and every little area I ran into was like a mini battle going on. So, I mean, it looks like it could have some really good potential.
When you're playing with 256 people, there's bound to be a douchebag in there.
Yeah, I might be that person, but who knows? I'm not following directions because I mean that game has no tutorial. So I go in there. No one yelled at me directly or anything, but of course I am on the side that just got their ass kicked. But it tells you nothing about what you're supposed to do. And granted, it was pretty quick for me to. By the end of the match, I had a good idea of what to do. And on the next match, we won, and I felt like I actually contributed. But I don't know if that has a single player component to it at all.
I don't think so.
Which, I mean, hopefully they do some sort of tutorial, because that could be completely overwhelming to you. But it's got 3 sides that you pick, and that seems really cool. And once you make a character, you can't make one on the other side. So you have to...
Per game?
I think it's a progressive character that you level. I don't think and maybe the beta you could make more than one person. But I had one character, and I had to delete it and make another one to go to the other side.
Really?
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's kind of cool. I like that idea that you kind of keep people like devoted to that side.
Yeah, I think that could be cool.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Once I got on of course, the first game we lost, and I'm like, I don't want to be on this side anymore. I go delete them. I'm going to be on this side. Then we won, and I'm just like, yeah, I'm glad I did that.
They got real guns. We got like sticks and rocks.
Yeah, they had those guns with the red tags on them from movies. They don't really shoot. They're like Tropic Thunder. They're just pretending to fire. That's what it seemed like. I don't know. That game comes out in January, and I'm probably going to check it out. I love huge battle games like that where, I don't know, and it might be because I suck at shooter games. I can kind of I won't be called out as much if I suck. It's definitely, I think, a part of it. But I just find that fun where you have huge battles going on and little micro battles in the whole mix of it. So you kind of actually feel like you're in a big battle, which that game definitely captures. So that's about it. Cool. I finished Uncharted 2, but we've talked enough about that. That was an awesome ending. But
Shannon, what you playing?
Nothing.
Oh, nothing?
I've had fun with the podcast this week. So
yeah, you've been playing podcast swapping.
I've been playing switching over the podcast. So not any extra time, outside of Ion. So yeah. So Steve, what have you been doing?
See, also playing Torchlight. I think if we talk about Torchlight much more, we're going to blow our load before the interview, though.
I was going to say, are we doing this next week?
Yeah. So I probably won't really touch on that.
Next week we shouldn't talk about it at all.
Yeah. We should ask them. We should make a rule like, okay, we're going to do the show now, and we're not allowed to say the word Torchlight.
Other than that game you just made, what do you play?
Yeah, I think that would be a very short interview.
Yeah. Let's see. So nothing much on the. I won't say much more on the Torchlight bit, but other than that, I've been playing Ion some. But Uncharted 2, I did beat, and I've been playing the multiplayer quite a bit. Even after, I had played the multiplayer beta back before the game came out. Thanks actually to Jason for getting me into that, and it was a ton of fun back then. And even after playing through the single player, which was just simply amazing, the multiplayer is still. I am really hooked to that multiplayer. I think it's because, like I think I might have even said this in my multiplayer review back in the day or whatever. But one of the few reasons why I even want an Xbox. That's the one system I don't own. And one of the few reasons I wanted one was for Gears of War 2. But now that's like, because of this game, I don't feel like I need that anymore because I've played it and I know what it's like. And I think Uncharted 2 just fills that void in the PS3 library for me. I know it's not exactly the same, but it's the same enough. It's that same third person shooter action, and I like the actual traversing of the terrain that you get in Uncharted a lot more than in Gears of War. So yeah, it's definitely digging that a lot.
Yeah, remember I even mentioned to you that after looking at a video of it, now I have to have a PS3.
Yeah, it's a system seller. I think it's a game. It's one of those few games that if you like this type of game, you totally are justified in purchasing a PS3 just for that one game alone.
Right. It's like, what's funny is like the game that when I went and bought my PS3, I went to the store with the money and I had to make the decision between the PS3 and the Xbox. And at the time, everybody was like, "Oh, Xbox." This is back when they were both like, I think the PS3 had just come out, and it was the definitely more expensive system. But looking at the both and looking at the upcoming library, the pretty much only the game that I wanted to buy that PS3 for was Gran Turismo 5, which is still not even out. But wow. I've had all these other great games come out for it, and I really feel that, especially now with Uncharted 2, with Metal Gear Solid, there's probably a handful of other ones. Oh, Little Big Planet, games like that. Those games that are out on the PS3, I think I'm fully justified in what I spent on that. Yeah. And with using it as a Blu-ray player, it's just I love having that system. I am not regretting that purchase anymore. So.
This last year has been insane.
Yeah, it's been really good. I really want to get Demon Souls at some point, but I'm at the same time I'm really looking forward to Dragon Age next week. So I think that dark fantasy feel will probably be qualmed out of that game rather than Demon Souls. So
yeah, it's going to be nuts in the next couple of weeks. Dragon Age. I want to try Borderlands.
I've been playing that too. I forgot to talk about that.
How is that?
It's good. It's kind of lonely I'm playing on the PS3, and none of my friends have it. So it's not a game that I really want to play with people I don't know, because the loot system is really weird in that you don't roll or anything. It's whatever drops you grab.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I'm kind of bummed at that. But I really like the mixing of RPG and shooting. It's pretty addictive, and I mean, it's not a straight up shooter. You get a little experience bar and health displaying as you knock someone down. And the classes are pretty cool, and the loot is really cool. The different guns seem pretty varied and seem like there's some really cool stuff there. Kind of wish I had gotten it on the PC, but not a lot of people I know have it on there yet either. So, but I don't know. It's good. It's just, I don't know. There's something there that's not making it a A-list. Yeah, kind of. I can't, like, if someone was to say, "Hey, should I buy this to play with you?" I don't know if I probably wouldn't tell them, "Yes, you need to buy this." I would say, "Hey, if you're looking into it and you want someone to play with, I'll play with you, but don't buy it because I have it."
See, that's why I wanted to is the co-op play. I love playing Torchlight right now, but I do miss that sort of fun of hanging out with a few friends. So that seems like the kind of game I'd like to be playing right now.
And see, to me, that's the one thing that I'm almost upset with Borderlands about, because when I first saw stuff about it and I saw the art style, I saw the idea of the RPG feel in a first-person shooter, I was like hooked. I was like, "Oh yeah, that's going to be badass." But the more I learned about that, it was pretty much just a co-op of these four classes that you could choose from, and that was really it. I was kind of actually disappointed. I can't get past a first-person shooter that doesn't have any form of PvP. It's just something like ingrained in me now that I if I'm playing a first-person shooter, I want to play against opponents. And I understand what they were going with for it, and I will definitely pick it up someday, but I probably will wait until it's discounted. But yeah, that's something that drove me away from it as something I was not a must buy for me.
Do they have any plans to add that kind of thing, I wonder?
No.
Because it doesn't seem like the type of thing that would be too difficult. Well, actually, that's not true. There's balancing.
No, it doesn't seem like it. The only form there is dueling. You can duel any character in the game, but it's someone on your team. It's not a versus game. And I don't think that's something that should hold somebody back from that game. When you play it, I was never thinking this would really work well in a multiplayer setting. I don't think that's it. I think it's more if you have friends who have it, it's probably a lot more fun. And I haven't played any multiplayer, and I've only been playing single player. And the the theme and the story kind of seems stupid, but the characters are really it's funny. It has a really good theme to it, and the art style is really cool. It's kind of a mix between cel shading and 3D. But I don't know, when I'm playing it, I'm not thinking this would really work well in a PvP setting.
I get that whole. I mean, I get the whole co-op thing because I enjoy Left 4 Dead. I mean, I enjoy that idea of a co-op first-person shooter. But at the same time, I don't know. Especially if playing it by myself, there's one thing if it's got a really good storyline that I'm playing through, and it's surprising me. And there's not there. I know that's not there in that game.
Yeah.
So there's not really to me. There's not much there. If there's not a single player good storyline, and there's really no PvP multiplayer, it's basically just Left 4 Dead. And I didn't feel that Left 4 Dead was worth the $50 that it came out for.
No.
To me, Left 4 Dead was always a $20 game. I mean, I think it's 20 or 30 now, but still, that's not worth $50 to me.
Yeah, I think I would be a lot more comfortable saying to somebody when there's when there's one of those crazy weekend sales on Steam or something to pick it up, that it's totally worth $20 or $30.
Exactly. Yeah, if it goes down to 30, I'll drop the money on it. But I cannot justify spending $50 on
and I can totally see myself probably turning this in, putting it towards another game, and then when it does that price drop, buying it on the PC to play with friends.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Strangest thing with me was I actually didn't get much into Left 4 Dead. Like, I played it a couple times, like, yeah, this is cool, but I mean, shooting hordes of zombies is always fun by anyone's measure. But after a while, it just kind of got monotonous and getting dragged by those damn tongue demons or zombies, whatever. Yeah, damn.
And I guess that's me too. Is that I liked Left 4 Dead, but I never was a big enough Left 4 Dead fan. I'm not on that side of the tracks. If you are a humongous Left 4 Dead fan and you enjoy the art style in Borderlands, I think you would like that. But that's not me.
If Left 4 Dead had loot, I might be all more about it.
I like the art style of Borderlands. Don't get me wrong. I think it's gorgeous, but I don't know. Couldn't get past that gameplay with no PvP, I guess, for the price. So.
Were we talking about what they're playing?
I don't know. I think it was me and went off, but I think we're done with that.
Recently, on Multiplaying.
What I am about to show you next may shock and educate you.
What's been going on Multiplaying?
We're just going to hit one article that went up this week, even though we had quite a few that were written really well. So check out multiplaying.net. But does a grind equate more socialization? Slurms, what was your decision there?
My decision?
Or what was your
verdict?
Thought process, I guess. Yeah.
Actually, it was because it all kind of stemmed from a blog post over on Shadow War's blog, which is at shadowwar.wordpress.com. He was actually linking to a post by one of the founders or the founder of the Curse Network, who was talking about like all of his qualms with Ion. And basically the two big ones that stood out in my mind of the list were the fact that there were no add-ons in the game, which I found hilarious. That the person that founded Curse is bitching about no add-ons in the game. Of course, he's going to bitch about there's no add-ons in the game.
Yeah.
And the other side of it, which was the more prominent one to me, was about the grind in the game. And then basically, there's the comment section off of Shadow War's blog just went on for about 40 comments, mostly between me and the Andrew over there on Shadow War, going back and forth whether it went somewhat into the add-on thing, but it was mostly about if the grind is okay. Based on everything that was said over on the comment section of his site, I was really starting to wonder to myself, like, okay, am I really inaccurate with this? I mean, maybe the grind's not okay? Maybe there needs to be a different way. I understand, yeah, everybody wants a different way. Everyone wants to get away from this grind feel. But then I posted in the forums of on our site is what everybody on the forums thought of that. And one of the comments that kind of sparked my idea to write this was actually by Winnan. And he said, quote, "I gotta say my favorite times in MMOs have been going with a group of friends to some out-of-the-way dungeon and crawling our way through it. From what I've seen in many games over the past 10 years, group grinding and crawling promotes socialization, and questing promotes soloing." And it really got me wondering, okay, I mean, that seemed right to me. That, okay, I'm thinking of like, wow, how it was a quest grind and you could do most of that solo. But then I think,
yeah, and if you're not in the same spot in a quest, You're not going to wait for somebody, and you're not going to make people wait for you to catch up. I mean, it's just go on, do your own thing. We'll do something else later.
Then you think back to games like the old school games that I think most of us in here started out with, like EverQuest or Dark Age of Camelot, that really didn't have deep quest systems, especially when they were brand new and vanilla. They had terrible quests, especially, I mean, from my memory, Dark Age, when it first came out, the quests were awful.
Yeah, you walked up to a guard and said task, and he said, go do this. That was it.
Yeah.
Well, they had the epic quest line that started, like, I think when you got to around 10, but they would have you running all over Kingdom Come, and then you'd get, like, almost no experience compared to the amount of time you put into the travel and everything to do it. It was ridiculous. It was like, why am I doing
I remember for the previews for WoW, that was like the big thing they talked about was like, wow, you should see how many quests are in this game. The quests are insane. There's so many of them. And now we just come to expect that that's what an MMO, I can't even say it. That's what we expect an MMO to be now, is a game full of quests, and you quest your way to the end, and then you do whatever they sort of set out for you at the end.
Yeah.
And I think they've gone off the rails. The worst thing to me about any of these games is the fact that we have forums now, and everyone feels that they have their, sort of opinion, and their opinion should be heard, and their opinion should be listened to. Followed.
Those people who want their voice to be heard.
Start a podcast.
Just get a podcast.
Well, listen, but here's the thing: when they say it, if the developer doesn't act on it, then they're all up in arms. Hey, I'm a paying customer. Why haven't you listened to me? Those games already exist. The games with all the questing and with the add-ons, we already have them, and we have lots of them. This isn't that game. Why would you want to turn it into that game? I loved WoW. I played the hell out of WoW, and I have nothing against it whatsoever. But this isn't WoW. This is Ion, and I'm playing Ion. I don't want it to be changed. I want to.
I look back at like WoW, and same thing. I played a lot of WoW. I thought there was tons of good things about it. I liked it a lot more when it was first out, and not after they made tons of changes and expansions to it. But I look back and I think, okay, I made absolutely no friends in WoW. I made no connections.
A lot of enemies though.
Yeah. I had to change servers so many times. No, I made really no friends in WoW. But then I look back at Dark Age of Camelot, where it was more of a group grind.
You spent a lot of time.
I'm still
with people.
talking to people that I played in Dark Age of Camelot with.
Yeah, I agree with Brian 100% on the whole curse thing. Nothing against curse. I've used their website in WoW hundreds of times, for add-ons. I still go to ionsource.com rather than the actual official forums. I appreciate what curse does. However, once again, want to reiterate, this is a completely different game altogether. This is more of a traditional MMO. This is kind of what I think is kind of the majority of players who WoW was their first MMO. They're kind of getting used to what the rest of us were already more than used to, and kind of in a way forgot after War and then WoW and what are the other MMOs since WoW's release. WoW.
Lotro.
You really got to tip your hat to Blizzard for completely changing the playing field when it comes to MMOs.
I wouldn't say Lotro though, because Lotro is actually, from what I've been told, at least I played it a little bit, and it seems to really have more of a push for the group.
Not anymore. Yeah,
not anymore, really. I haven't played it since it came out, so I don't know.
Yeah, they've totally increased the experience. I guess I would say maybe about 8 months ago they totally upped the amount of experience. In fact, I was playing Lotro at the time, and I logged in one day and was instantly raised from level 27 to level 31. And it's all this XP they gave to you.
Boost of experience.
Yeah. And it's because everyone wants to be able to solo, and they're going for the easy money. Hey, everyone wants to solo. That's easy. We just give them experience.
But why? Yeah, that's what I don't understand. Why the catering to the solo player in an MMO?
Well, at Final Fantasy, from what I understand, is it's impossible to solo, period. And they still have a pretty large following. Now, granted...
They do. People who are into that game are into that game.
I played it. I can't remember what level I got to, but that is a damn hard game.
To be fair to Lotro, they still have a pretty awesome storyline that goes throughout their, all of the leveling, and they're...
Oh, yeah, I read it.
Yeah, so and they've you have to group for that kind of stuff. So I don't want to lump them in completely with WoW and War.
But But I mean, as kind of like as an example, just my time spent in Ion, and like I said, now I'm getting to the 40s, in which as a ranger you can solo all the way to 50. Or any ranged character really, or I guess some of the healers too. You can kite elites and solo them, and you can get to the max level pretty quickly, and it's actually a little bit quicker that way because you get more experience. But I enjoy the group composition so much more. I had the pleasure of grouping with Tri, which is number 3 Legion on our server, last night in the Aethergenics lab, and I mean they were just a great group of people. And if there was no need to group with them, I would have never met them. I mean, I would never had any need to. It's
right.
I really enjoy putting the social aspect back into MMOs. I enjoyed the solo grind in WoW, but thinking back to it, like I said something earlier in Legion chat today, when you got 16 WoW, it was like, cool. You weren't that excited about it. Another level down. Now I don't really have anything to do other than do Battlegrounds and wait for raid at 7:30. When you got 50 in Dark Age, you almost went ballistic. I
did, yeah. And that was another point in the article that I wrote, was that it's like looking back in War, which is the last MMO I played before this. Any level that I got to in that game, I really never felt any sense of accomplishment, and I do in Ion. When I level, like I'm only 25 right now, on the verge of 26. When I get 26, I'll feel like I got 26. Like, yes, I am 26.
I'm like halfway to 25. I'm so excited.
I mean, but yeah, can you remember the last MMO that you played that you were actually excited about almost getting to a level?
Free Realms.
And well, and that's the other thing too with the way Ion's set up is, if Slurms is playing and Steve. If Steve is playing and he's in a certain area doing something for a quest or anything, I can go and just group up with him and grind, even if I'm not working on the quest, and I'm not losing out on a whole bunch of experience that I could be getting if I was just questing away. I mean, it's not the same, but it is comparable, because the experience you get from grinding out mobs isn't bad.
And the time will go a little bit faster if you're grouping with a person and talking to them. It's a little bit more fun than going out by yourself.
But is the game passing the test, though, right? So the question is, does the grind promote socialization? So have any of you guys grouped up with somebody because you were forced to grind in an area and there were no quests?
A couple times.
Yeah. I have to admit,
as you get higher, it's going to get much more.
I was just about to say, I think I'm at the point right now where I don't have to, but I think when I get around, what is it, about 30, Tack, would you say you start kind of being more pushed into it?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're still very early, really.
30, 31, you start getting into Fire Temple, which honestly, in my opinion, is the crappiest instance I have ever done. I hate Fire Temple.
I will look forward to that.
I cannot wait.
I liked it. I did it once and I had fun. But once is easy.
But there's a lot of the bosses are random spawns, and so there will be runs where, you will, not get really any bosses except for Crowmead herself, and then once you get to Crowmead, which is the final boss for those who haven't been there, she doesn't drop anything. So it's just kind of like, I just spent the last hour, I got crappy experience compared to what you could be doing soloing, and I didn't get any loot to show for it, which is kind of what I do like to dungeon crawl for. I like to dungeon crawl for the loot. When I went through Training Grounds, which I still love as an instance, amazing experience, a good shot, a pretty good loot, which to be fair, Chromie drops golds.
But see, you're talking about dungeons again, right? And WoW has dungeons, so we're not talking grind anymore. Every game right now has dungeons, and that kind of forces us to kind of group and socialize. But what about when you're just, again, on your own? Like you mentioned, you met those great guys last night, but you were doing an instance. Have you met guys just out in the world while you were screwing around?
Yesterday, actually right now, I still haven't finished it yet. There's the Xenophon quest line, which is as a quest reward is a gold weapon. One of the things is you have to hunt in a pretty difficult area. The mobs are non-elite, but they have a lot of health and they hit pretty ridiculously hard. I grouped up with the gladiator, and I mean, ever since I've just me and him, went at it, and for an hour and a half, 2 hours, and me and him were just sitting there shooting the shit, grinding mobs, and it was a really enjoyable experience. I would definitely do it again. So
yeah, see, that's the kind of thing I like, because at the end of the dungeon, you usually say, okay, see you later, man. Thanks for group, bye. But if you're grinding, it's more of an actual sort of like, there's no end to it. It's when we're done playing, when we need to go our separate ways, we'll do that. And then you've kind of feel you've made friends a little bit more rather than just use them to get through an instance.
There's not a finish line.
Yeah. Actually, also,
Yeah.
today what I did is I grouped up with a Spirit Master, and we were down kiting 43 and 44 elites down in Andratu Legion, or the Andratu area in Hyron. And now me and that Spirit Master are once again on my friends list, and we're going to do it later. And this is just trying to grind it out, just me and another person. And I mean, we know that when it comes to 50, I know I will be able to depend on that person to do what that person needs to do as their class. Not to sound elitist, but you guys know what I'm saying.
Yeah. Yep. You realize he's not an asshat. You kind of tested him out, and
Yeah.
you can get along.
He's not going to go AFK and not say anything and be gone for half an hour.
Like my brother does.
Devin, you
So
mentioned something.
embarrassing. He'd get an MMO and play, and I'd be grouping and maybe have some friends with us, and he'd just go AFK. He didn't really get it.
No.
I hit the pause button.
Yeah.
Just so you guys know, you can get killed by the falling meteorites in the abyss. I just got hit for 13,000 damage.
Oh my
That's
god.
awesome.
That's cool. See, it's those little touches that I love about this game. You know,
just get this. I'm in an alliance on top of it. You just get this like 20 like deep death span. Just knocked out like half the alliance with one meteorite.
Wow.
See, because I remember walking through WoW, and there were areas where there'd be flame or lightning hits, and I purposely chased them down to see if they could kill me. And when I finally caught a couple, it was like kind of a disappointment.
Let's see. Have you guys seen the grind optimizer? Since we're talking about the grind.
No, I've not seen that. I didn't look at that link yet.
Does it come with lube?
At www.ionwh.com, they have a grind optimizer, and apparently you can enter, certain information about like your level and what kind of level mobs you want to go up against, and it'll tell you where they are and which mobs they are, so you can optimize your grind.
That's cool.
We just got hit by another meteorite and I died again.
Have you used the grind optimizer tech?
I've for my grinding, there's an excellent link posted on the Ion Source forums, the Ranger grinding compendium. I've been using that pretty exclusively. So no.
See, this is great because I can when I finally get up to your level, I can just ask you some questions.
You can ask me whatever you want, man.
Excellent.
So but I mean, oh my god, we just died again.
Jeez.
I think you guys are in a bad location.
I think so too.
You guys don't have your umbrellas out, do you? So those meteorites don't hit you.
Gotta watch for those signs on the side of the road that say, "Watch out for meteors."
Meteor crossing, meteor zing.
I'll bounce off an umbrella.
Next time I'll get underneath my desk.
Have you got somebody rezzing you?
Yeah, it's it's an alliance, so like every now and then there's an elemental stone of resurrection. Here we go, another one.
I would
All right.
stand where that person is standing because they're not dying.
I'm trying to get my flight time back, and I guess the meteor likes to fall right on top of the Aether Gate.
I would move.
That's what I'm doing now. I was dead in midair.
Took you 3 times?
I didn't think it was going to gank me 3 times. It was the first time I died to.
It's that meteorite Zerg.
I'm not
guess
asking you
man.
any questions anymore.
Yeah, you may want to rethink your strategy there.
I might have to.
That hot Dick Johnson.
One thing,
I don't know what that means. Just sounds like someone would be a hot shot.
Johnny, fuck around.
I was reading Impetusium today, and
Impetusium.
I don't
Impetusium.
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 Impetusium. And I don't know if he wrote it today, but I read it today. Anyway, he wrote an article saying, well, the link is Harvest Revel event failed, but the title is Where's the Harvest Revel? And have you guys, other than getting this questionnaire that pops up and gives you candy, I haven't, we're on the Elios side. Have you seen the zombies like attacking towns?
No,
and stuff?
they released a quote saying that this year they elected to tell the lore of the holiday rather than do an actual event.
Oh, I didn't.
Yeah,
see
like
that.
it was a choice. We thought about doing some stuff, but we just decided we'll do
Not
something
to.
different.
Nah.
We'll tighten something up instead.
The way
But that's okay. They have a lot of work to do. I'm not going to say, like, I mean, I do love this game, but they do have a lot of work to do with the whole, gold spam bot issue. So, that is more important.
Yeah, I mean, if we had no, like, event whatsoever, I think it would have been better if they just wouldn't have said anything. If they wouldn't have had the thing go up. Because it's one thing that we come off of a game like War that actually had big events, whether you liked them or not. They were huge events. Everybody participated in them pretty much. And then you come to Highhound and they say even the slightest thing about the Harvest Revel, and everybody's like, oh yes, it's event time, bitches. And nothing happens. So they should have just let it go, just not said anything.
I agree. I was really misled by the post they said, we're, the undead rise under the new moon. I was like, all right, this is going to be a pretty cool event.
That's what I thought too.
But whatever.
I'm just glad. I was really nervous that it was just going to be a bunch of daily quests. I'm sort of kind of negative on it.
You're burnt.
Yeah, I hate daily quests. It's like a job. I already have a job, and I don't feel like logging into my pastime to perform menial tasks.
I thought there would be some like atmospheric changes, like some decorations,
cool.
like I thought that was going to be, present.
Just got candy.
Got some candy. I didn't get candy. Yeah, I didn't get my candy. I got it on like 2 alts that I had played around, and I was just like, I'm Charlie Brown over here.
What a razor blade one of mine.
I got it on a couple alts that like I had logged in just for a second. I was like, oh cool, get my candy. But on my main, I have 0 candy. I'm so mad.
That's candy.
Is it tradable?
I need some candy.
Because I'll give you all of mine.
No.
I don't use that stuff, and it's taking up valuable space.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're candy. You have too much candy.
Just like real life, I eat it like right when I get it.
Do you really?
I go dump it on the ground so I can look at it all and roll around in it.
I'm rich.
Rich, bitch.
Rich with candy. Hey, site of the week on Multiplaying this week is Kill That Cheerleader. It's killthatcheerleader.wordpress.com. Petrelli's been writing for a while now, so go check that stuff out. It's good.
What kind of blog is it?
I believe he started as a war blog, and he is playing Ion right now. If I correct myself real quick. I think most...
Yep. Looks like Ion to me.
I believe he also plays WoW. So, yeah.
Well, speaking of other MMOs like War is free forever. Did you know that?
I heard that today.
There's an endless War free trial for Tier 1. So they're going to lift the 10-day restriction on their free trial, and you'll be able to enjoy the trial experience and the new user journey for as long as you like, Tier 1 only. So you can play basically to level 12 forever.
That's brilliant.
Oh my God. If I could, I don't know, they haven't released a lot of details on it, but if they would let me use the free trial, if I could only have access to like Tier 1 characters, I would totally reinstall.
Yep. So would I. I was thinking about my shaman earlier today, and I was thinking, how I kind of missed him and how much I love Tier 1. That's awesome news. I'm going to do that.
Oh my God, I know. I was like, I might reinstall. And I still might reinstall, even if they don't let you use your account, if it's really just for free trials. I might just...
That's what I'm thinking.
It's free, We'll have a Tier 1 guild. Oh, man. And the other thing that was absolutely no news was that Star Wars The Old Republic Jedi Knights are a playable class.
Really?
Duh. I know. That was their announcement. I'm like, are you serious? You're going to even announce that? Like, it would... good, yay, but it was kind of like, duh.
They should have saved that till the end. Just be like, yeah, duh.
Oh, I know.
Stupid bitch.
I feel bad because I'm purposely not following the development of it because I'd be surprised.
The news is very slow to come out, so you would be going nuts if you were.
I think that's the thing. I was an avid listener of the TOROCast for a while, and I still download it, but I can't keep listening to it just because I know that game is so far off. That show, that podcast is amazing. Those guys do a really good job covering everything that comes out about that and speculating to the winds, but I just can't do it because it's just so far off. I know I'm going to start listening to them again once they get closer to an actual date, but I just can't do it right now. And I'm not even really following the game because I'm just worried for other things with it being a story-driven MMO. But we'll see.
Somebody mentioned actually, and I think they made a good point. I can't remember where I read or heard it. They were talking about the fact that one of the things that a lot of people do when they get voiceovers is they immediately want a button to go past it, to fast forward.
Yep.
And
that's me. I just read it.
Yeah. Well, I just want to skim it and then go on. So I really wonder about this game. I don't know how that's going to hit with all the voiceovers.
With it being such a, the RPG element of it seems very heavy, and that's great because KOTOR was wonderful, but I just question if it's going to fulfill my MMO.
Yeah, that's
needs.
my big worry with the game. I
might love the game, but I might have an MMO on the side.
Yeah. And like most MMOs for me, I'm a person that has to have some PvP, so I know there's supposed to be some form of PvP in it, and it's going to, just like in Ion, I'm not really to the PvP yet, so I'm still up in the air with Ion in that respect that I will base it on when I get towards the end game and really experience a PvP. Is that good for me? And I'm going to be the same way about the Old Republic. Is the PvP good?
Okay, everyone has TF2 now. Everyone in the world has TF2 now because it's been like what, $2?
I don't.
What? $2.50.
Go buy it.
You don't have.
I don't have it.
Go buy it.
It's only $2.50 till 10 p.m.
Oh. You still don't have it.
Oh,
fail on my part.
But it's been on sale for like a couple days for like $2.50.
Oh, really?
And
It says October 29th through November 2nd. I'm looking at.
Oh, you can still do it. I thought it was ended tonight, Jay.
No, that's the haunted special, Halloween special.
Oh,
it was
I see.
$2.50 up until 7:00 Pacific today, which just ended.
Oh,
but right now there's pumpkins and shit.
Gotcha. Really?
And paper bags with masks on them on characters.
And I might have to play after the podcast.
You do that.
Or you all could go back to playing Ion and get up to my level, slackers.
Yeah, we're not.
Slow.
We can't compete
Slow
with
roll,
you.
man.
Not as crazy as you. I'm gonna go play Horizons. Which
Please?
That still exists.
No, I can't believe that Horizon still exists. That cracks
That's
me
proof
up.
that war will be around forever.
I agree. There will always be that niche audience to keep the games going on, like the one.
Well, okay, then why do they close up shop
for the
then?
Matrix.
Like,
Because they can't. Because they
Tabula
can't
rasa.
budget to meet their audience that they have. Horizons was able to survive on a niche audience that they plan for. These ones who think they're going to be huge can't balance their checkbooks, basically.
Gotcha. Harsh. So how was TF2 last week? I was still doing podcast fun.
It was good.
One sec.
I had fun. I tried. I was stupid, and I decided to try out Scout instead of the usual Pyro that I do, and I immediately died 10 times without killing anybody, and went back to Pyro because I suck.
It's a tough class to play.
It is.
But if you're good at it, it's awesome. One of the most annoying games I ever played in that was I went onto just a random server and it wasn't that populated, and it was probably 5 or 6 of us, different classes, against 6 all scouts. And oh my god, they destroyed us. It was so annoying because we could not catch any of them, and they were just zipping around all working as a team. But on your own, that class can be brutal.
Perhaps I shouldn't try it on the control point server in the middle of rush hour.
No, yeah.
Yeah, I think I still ran with the demo man, but I also switched to the heavy eventually. I had whatever map we were playing at one point, it just wasn't really suited for the demo man, at least not for me. So switched up to the heavy and did rather well.
Yeah, you're kicking ass as a heavy.
It's never been a class that I really like to play, but for some reason, I've really dove into it lately. I'm really enjoying it.
I always end up on the side against you somehow. I always hit random, and then I'm fodder for you. I've had your kill count.
Well, Carr was there this last week, right? Too.
Yeah, he was.
But, that was weird because I think I said it in the forums that I jumped on like just a little bit after 9. I got on kind of later than like right at 9, my usual. And I jumped onto the control point one because I didn't see anybody on the Steam community in the group that was playing. So I was like, oh, maybe it's just me. And I jumped on, And then I was playing in the control point, and I saw like you and Car on there like a minute later. But I guess you'd already been there, like, and I joined the game without actually like joining your game.
Weird. No, I saw you on as well. I had some, I forget what I was doing, but anyway, I had to come on about 10 minutes later, and I saw you guys in, so I logged in.
Because I think he had picked it, and I had just happened to pick it, and we just picked it together. Hot.
This is chocked full of tips for our listeners.
Important hot tips.
You can join us for our next TF2 night, November 2nd, 2009, and join our Steam group at steamcommunity.com/groups/multiplaying.net /hot. No, there's no /hot, but and if you have any tips or suggestions that we could read instead of just giving you, hey, I played with you, you played with me, comments at this point in the show, we would appreciate that. We'll use them. We'll give you credit. It'll be great.
If you right click, you ignite the sticky bombs. Just to let you know.
In case you didn't know.
Hot tip.
In case you didn't know, your heavy has a gun.
I think it's a pro tip. That's what it qualifies as.
Yeah, there seems to be some sort of communique.
We did get 2 quote-unquote new iTunes reviews. We have switched our feed, so we have a new iTunes area, I guess you'd say. And so we need all our new reviews again. So if you wrote a review for us in the past, or if you were always thinking about it, give us a review, because now we have 2. And they're by loyal listeners who gave us a review before. So thank you guys. And thank you everyone for sticking with us through the move. Our numbers, as of today, it's higher than expected retention rate. And it's not even been a full week of the switch yet. So, we really appreciate that y'all are loyal.
How did we move? You don't mind me?
Huh?
How did we move?
We switched hosts for the podcast.
All right.
So, like, everyone who was a subscriber through whatever pod feeder or podcatcher that they were using has to find out that we switched, because basically they'll just stop getting shows. And so everyone who's hearing this now is on the new feed. And, they did their job. Good listeners. Well, thanks, listeners.
You are a Sherlock Holmes to catch us here. You're like John Sherlock Holmes over there. But we did put out a mini podcast to update people.
We did. We put a little message out on the old feed, and we'll probably put one more out just to keep bothering people. Yeah. Some other stuff I wanted to go over. Rare, he's been on our show before, and he was a former writer of Insert Awesome Ion Name. He's now writing for Multiplaying, right?
Yep.
And he's also podcasting on lagwar.com with Sark, who's also a guildie. And he's also the host of MMO Weekly. And they're doing a new show called Epic Elios. So you can check that out at lagwar.com/home. Wow, /archive/8446. I'll just link that in the show notes.
So what happened to Rare's old podcast?
I think the guild just got crazy busy.
Gotcha.
And I gotta ask him too. The show's called Epic Elios. He was all talking smack forever, being a big old Asmo.
That's right, calling us chickens.
Yeah, pigeons or some stupid stuff like that. They call it. Yeah.
Damn hairback.
That's really, yeah.
Hairback.
Vagback.
Yeah. Call me a pigeon, you vagback. All right.
But yeah, welcome Rare.
How was that so utterly laced with sarcasm? And yet, I think you meant it.
He did mean it, but it was just the pause was huge.
Well, gentlemen, no point in hanging around this dump any longer.
Wait! Where are you going?
You're all right.
I was going to make us breakfast. Show's over, folks. You can't go. All the plants are going to die. Take off, eh?
Thanks for listening to Multiplaying, the companion podcast at multiplaying.net. Questions, comments, feedback, errors, etc. can be sent to multiplaying@gmail.com. We invite you to write a review on iTunes and visit our website at www.multiplaying.net.
We've made a lot of friends, shared a lot of laughs, often at the expense of others.
I think some people are going to be upset.
Let me just close this conversation by saying you are one unique individual.
Thank you and good night.
Multiplaying is a member of the Dead Workers Party Network. You can listen to this and many other fine podcasts at www.deadworkers.com/network.